We got a lot of big fights and stuff going on, coming on around here, from Richmond to South Carolina to the Bronx. So we're doing that. Um, just trying to stay motivated, man.
Stay heavily motivated.
Stay heavily motivated, man. Because man, you got, like I said, you got family, you got kids out here. You know what I mean? It's very easy to get back in that street, man. People cross you the wrong way, and 10, 15 years ago, things would be a little bit different story. For me anyway, you know what I mean. The results could end a whole different way, So you gotta stay.
Thank God you grew up. Thank God you had something important.
Absolutely, man.
And let me jump in. My name is Thurston White. I'm with Heavily Motivated. I have a GoFundMe set up right now because I want to go ahead and pack up and head down to the Bahamas. Who would have thought I went from a drug dealer to a drug trafficker to a humanitarian? I'm out here just wanting to serve the community, restore hope, and be a voice for the voiceless and be hope for the hopeless. And when I looked at the storm that came, it just wiped out the Bahamas. So please feel free to go on GoFundMe at Heavily Motivated. You go on PayPal to Heavily Motivated. Any kind of donation helps, whether it's $1, $5, or $50. I'm going down there with or without you. But if you can help, we need satellite phones, we need Wi-Fi, we need supplies, we need water, we need food. I need clothes, insect repellent, just everything these people need down there. They don't have anything. So whatever donation you give, we have to charter a vessel. We have to get back and forth. So passports, vaccinations, a lot of stuff we need. But to get back into the topic of discussion, me, I was a cut partner with Mousy. We were sleeping right beside each other, and I'm always amazed when I look at him and I see that I don't really see the change because I knew he was a king. Even in prison, even in our lowest state, I knew he was going to do great things. The reason why I knew he was going to do great things, because I believe it's something to go on. People talk one thing and they whisper about another. And most people come home and do the things they whisper about. You have people in prison that talk about doing good, talk about getting out, talk about getting married, talk about being in their kids' life, talk about doing this. But he talked about it, but he also whispered about it too. Our little hush conversations was about him getting involved in cash lights, him coming home to his wife, him staying free. Our hush conversations was about you not going back to prison.
Yep.
Our hush conversations was about you coming home fighting. You
Yep.
used to sit back and spot the post.
Yeah.
He used to hit the post where people play basketball. He'd be in the way when they come down the court because he's kicking and hitting the post. So this was his desires, and this was what was deep in his heart. And I really applaud Mighty Mouse and I uplift him, and I always talk about him and tell everybody how great he's doing, because he's doing what he envisioned doing. He's out here being a father, being a son, and being a husband. And sometimes life, it gets frustrating. We talk about prison, rehabilitation, reform. Am I rehabilitated? Nah, far from it. I'm not rehabilitated. It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about getting high. It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about hustling. It's not a day that goes by while I don't think about slapping somebody in the mouth or putting my hands on them. But I have reached a point in my maturity where I understand there are consequences to my actions. And although I could choose my actions, I can't choose the consequences. So therefore, I can't do those things I think about doing. I can't get high. Because if I smoke a blunt today, I'm going to be selling weed tomorrow. That's just how it works for me.
No doubt.
If I smoke a blunt and buy a sack for somebody and realize that they're faking on the sack, and I might rob them, and I might end up selling weed tomorrow. That's why I can't get high. I can't drink or drive because I might have some road rage. I might kill somebody. I can't do a lot of things. Everybody's limit is different. And I understand that we all go through stuff, and people are going to say stuff, and people are going to point fingers, and people are going to challenge our manhood. But at the end of the day, I want to ask, like, what's important to you? Is it your family life that's important? Is it the woman beside you that's important? Is it the child that runs around screaming, daddy, daddy, daddy? Is that what's important? Or is it comments that's being left that's important? What's really important? What do you value? And the reason I'm bringing this up, because you was experiencing some kind of, like, we call it industry beef or Twitter beef or YouTube beef. And I want to ask you, like, how have you rose above what's going on in your life right now to still be the father, the husband, and the friend that you are to so many people?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people, man, they, when they first heard about this stuff, was like, oh man, I already know what Mouse is getting ready to go do, because they know the old me. Or I've even had people that know the old me that are like, Mouse, we're coming to get you. Let's go do this.
So
you know
hold
what
on,
I'm saying?
let's do this little talk. So do you believe that people has given you a chance to change, or do you believe that people haven't gave you a chance to change based on the fact that as soon as they hear A, they automatically assume B?
Exactly.
So do you think that you've been given a chance to change in people's eyes or not?
Nah, I don't think so, man. Because the old people that know me, man, they haven't changed in their lives to be able to know. They might see what I'm out here doing, but they, in their mind, it only takes a spark for me to go back to being that same person, man. They think that what I'm doing out here now, it doesn't matter to me that, you know, that there's a line that somebody could cross that would make me go back to being the old me. And like I said, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, that would have been the case. No matter what, I would have thrown everything out the door for the even and odd. You know.
So
what I mean?
what's important to you now?
I mean, my family, my son. You know, I've already lost, you know, one of my sons. You know what I mean? So, and I lost the son's mom and stuff like that, man. So it's like, you know, at this point, it's I have to be willing to say goodbye to everybody and everything if I'm willing to go to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Because that will be it. There'll be no coming back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point that it would be at. So I have to really, and at this point in my life, I've actually stopped to think about that. Before, there wouldn't have been no stopping to think about it. You cross that line, it's a wrap.
Oh, so you're using some re-entry skills. You're going to take the cognitive processing and thinking skills and breaking it all down and realizing in between that you do have power to stop before you get to Z. Because some people say they go from A to Z or 0 to 10 real quick, but
Yeah.
you, through the cognitive skills, you're realizing that it's a process in between and the steps, and at any time in between, you can stop. You can choose not to go off the deep end.
Right, and it takes time to get to that point, man, because you know you got to get tired of doing it, and you got to get tired of living like that, man. You gotta have done, you know, like I've done 16 years, and I know you've done a lot of time, and it gets to the point, man, where you get tired of doing that time, or you know that you have no more time left, that the next time is it, you know, and that's at the point I'm at right now. So, you know, you either think or you just don't care. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna go to prison and you're gonna learn your lesson. You know what I'm saying? The lesson to be learned is going to come from you. You know what I mean? You got to get tired of doing it. You got to want to change. You got to want to bring these steps in your life to make change. You know what I mean? They'll give you all the tools you need inside there. You know, and I've seen guys do 20 years. I got a really close friend that's done 22 years that did absolutely nothing with his time, and he's out here showing that he did absolutely nothing with his time while he was in there. The way he's out here dragging people now. So, you know, you just you can use those tools and you can make yourself a better person. You can use those programs for your benefit and stuff. They'll give it all to you. But if you don't decide to use them, then, you know, it's worthless. You know what I'm saying? So it's all just wasted time in there. And till you get tired of doing that time, you're not going to change it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. What advice, how old are you now?
42.
42 years old. Okay. If you can go back to the 22-year-old Mighty Mouse, what advice would you give him right now? Or if you could speak to the 22-year-old Cash, his son over there in the pool, swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
Or if you speak to the 22-year-old you or the 22-year-old your son, what advice would you give him right now about living his best life?
Man, I mean, just don't waste it, man. And enjoy your life, man, and you know, take the steps you need in life, man, to succeed. So you're not in the position where you're scrambling or feeling like you having to do certain things to get by. Get that education, get the trade and down, you know, things that you can survive out here with. You know what I mean? Because when it comes down to it, if you're living comfortably and you know you out here and you got a good job and stuff like that, you got a skill that's able to, you know, give you a good living, then that'll eliminate a lot of the issues of you having to be in the street, robbing, stealing, selling drugs and stuff like that, man. If you're already making that good money and you got a real legit job and you got an education and stuff like that, man, a lot of that stuff will be out, you know, out the door. And I'm not saying that I wasn't, you know, I wrestled all through school and stuff like that, and I had the perfect opportunity. I didn't grow up, you know, messed up like a lot of these guys. I didn't grow up. I decided to be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I decided to put myself in the streets. And I would still go back to school. I'd skip school all day and then go back to school just to go to wrestling practice. You know what I mean? Real. You know, so it's like, you know, I was living two different lifestyles. It's just the appeal of the drugs, the money, the girls, all that. That appealed to me more than the education and the wrestling and all that stuff. So I took a left turn on my own. I wasn't forced in that position where a lot of these people with their backs against the wall, where they grew up in that situation, man, where they have to be a man at 11, 12 years old. We went down to Miami in Opalaka with the Crips and stuff, me and Level Martinez, and we were talking to some of the head Crip members down there in slums of the slums. And these guys down there were telling us, they were like, man, they're grown men by the time they're 12 years old down here. We tried to give them the guns down, gloves up scenarios and stuff like that. And he was like, look,
They
man,
ain't trying to hear it.
not trying to hear it. They're like, you might be able to catch him at 5 years old. They pointed at my son. They were like, you might be able to catch him at that age.
By the
And
time they reach their formative years,
they're grown men.
it's already over.
He said, man, unless they're carrying, he said, man, they're 12 years old carrying around, 30 rounds or better in their clips. You know
So
what I
let
mean?
me ask you this, because this might correlate. What about bullying? What do you have to say to a kid getting bullied at school or getting bullied on social media? Were you ever bullied? You look like, I mean, you don't look like a person that's been bullied.
No, I wasn't bullied. I mean, but here's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
When even in elementary school, I used to beat up the elementary school kids.
So you were the bullier.
I was a fighter, and when I was in school, we didn't have the issues of bullying. There was no such thing as that back then. You didn't hear about, like, you got these people now that are injuring themselves and all that stuff because they've been bullied or whatever. Back then, we grew up, I think, kind of tougher. You know what I'm saying? When I was in school, so we just fought. You know what I mean?
That's what you tell a kid that's getting bullied, to just fight?
Learn how to fight, man, because when you can self-defend yourself, you'll have that, you know what I mean, you'll have that security that you can take care of yourself. And when you have that security that you can take care of yourself, it's a little less likely that you're going to get bullied.
But I thought the key to martial arts was realizing that you don't have to fight.
Exactly. That's the security of knowing that you can fight. I don't have issues out here because I know that I can fight. It's the people that can't fight and the people that can't defend themselves seem to have the bigger issues.
And I think they're the ones that shoot. That's
Exactly.
what I was leading to.
Exactly.
I think that the lack of fighting skills is leading to these youth out here pulling the trigger, because if someone your size or my size come to someone that's smaller than us and they know they can't fight,
Yeah.
so they're instantly going to a
guns.
handgun, they're instantly going to a weapon.
No doubt.
Because they've grown up playing these video games all their life, and they're good at pulling the gun, shooting. They're good at
Right.
pulling out, shooting, aiming.
Yeah.
And it's lack of skills of fighting that they know they can't fight.
No.
And even in prison, we see them in prison.
And they don't have the balls
They're in
to
there
fight.
for a body,
Yep.
but giving their tray away.
And they don't have the balls to fight. So, I mean, a lot of people don't have that heart. So it's easier for them to get a gun and pull the trigger. But like I was saying, in elementary school, I would beat up the kids that were my age. But I had to deal with their older brothers that were in middle school. And the middle school kids got out of school before we got out of school.
So they were waiting on you.
They'd be waiting for me at school. And back then,
They're gonna jump you.
yeah, back then it was like, man, there was no, man, the principal would be like, hey, go handle your business. I mean, look, there wasn't no protection back then, or oh, leave them alone. Back then, man, you grew up tough. At least where I was from, I don't, like I said, I was born in '78, so when I grew up, it's a little bit different than what schools are now. We used to fight, and that was that. Back then we didn't really have the guns and the stabbings and stuff like that. We fought. Times have changed, and now it seems to me like a lot of these younger guys are growing up a little bit softer, man. So they go to the gun, or the knife or the weapon before they'll throw the hands. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing when we started with the guns down, gloves up stuff, man, trying to get some of these guys to actually fight instead of killing each other and stuff. So, but hey, you can't make a dude fight, so you're always gonna have these guys out here that are gonna resort to, other stuff.
Well, I pray that that y'all get some kind of positive influential message out of what we just went through here. And I'll ask all of I think I got 288 followers on YouTube. I want all 288 of y'all to go subscribe to this Mr. Mighty Mouse. 50 of them is your followers anyway.
Yeah.
But y'all go subscribe to Mighty Mouse and just follow him. He's doing something awesome. It's a backstory to who this guy is. I know him personally. He's been a good friend of mine. And he might look like an animal, look like a goon, but deep down he's a loving, caring father and husband. And we all respect him, and we're all happy to have him out here in society. And we're happy that you chose to stay out here in society with us for this long duration of time. I've been out for 3 years, Mouse. This is the longest I've ever been out, bro.
Yeah.
I've never been out for this long without being locked up, incarcerated, something dumb.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm like breaking records. I'm off probation, and I'm happy to have guys like him that's out here doing positive things that I can link up with. And we're not doing no bull crap. Ain't nobody getting high, ain't nobody plotting. It's nothing like that. It's all positivity, family, networks around it. So y'all tune in. You want to take us out?
Yeah. Y'all also subscribe to him. It's Heavily Motivated.
Right there.
Yep. On YouTube. I'm sitting at 65,000 subscribers now, man. So you guys go on there. He's got plenty more stories like what we're doing here, man, with the prison stuff and helping the communities out and stuff like that, man. So show your support for him no matter what. I'm gonna give you all his link at the top of my page so you guys can hit him up on this video. But that's what we're doing, man. and we're gonna keep giving you these good videos and stuff. And I'm gonna get, like I said, we're going back into the Diversion Center and doing job fairs and stuff like that coming up. And he's going to the Bahamas doing big things, man. So come support us. The UFL Fight League, y'all hit us up, man, on YouTube. Go subscribe, man.
If I slap you, will you hit me back?
I don't know, maybe not.
You sure? I ain't even gonna try my hand. Because last time he didn't stop. I really want to slap you, but I'm not gonna do it. You think I should do it? For real?
Don't do it. He ain't going to Bahamas. He ain't going to Bahamas if he smacks me. They're gonna be doing a relief for his ass.
I ain't
Go
gonna
fund me to get him out the hospital.
That's gonna be on part 3. I'm gonna put some gloves on and I'm gonna knock Mighty Mouse out. Part 3, guaranteed.
That's going viral.
It's gonna go viral because I'm a slider. Peace.
All right, y'all.